Hello and welcome to another Wargame Red Dragon video with me, Bubblebox and Silveraptor, and we continue on our Bubble and Silver Do deck series. Hi Silver.
Hi Bubble.
So today we're going to be continuing with another Russian deck. We're doing two Russian decks for the deck building series. The first one we did in the last video was a generalized deck, and this is kind of a more purposeful deck with a single purpose, although it's still a Russian general deck. Basically mine is designed to sort of have all the units stay fairly close together and move together rather than being the much more generalized deck that we did in the last video. What's yours kind of specialized for?
Mine is more specialized, more of the expensive units of focus on a specific area of the map and try to punch through or hold with extreme prejudice. So throw everything good at the enemy and try to hold a region, basically.
Okay, cool. So let's start off with the logistics as we always do. And yep. I have not got a fob. Have you got your fob?
Yes, I do.
Okay, what I have got for my logistics, first of all, is I've got one set of MI6 choppers, the ones I had in the last deck, and also the MTP LB as well. Oh, sorry, in fact, I've got two sets of the MI6 choppers and one MTP. So,
one thing I would like to recommend if you look at the MI6 and the MI26 is that apart from points, they're still both very big.
They are indeed both very big, but basically their basic stats are pretty much the same apart from their supply and the year they're built in. Yeah.
Of course, the MI26 is 120 points, so it's really to each your own.
Yeah, I'll stick with the slightly cheaper version, I think. Have you got the big one?
And that's perfectly fine. Yeah, I do.
Yeah. And what other have you got? Have you got any trucks as well?
I've got the Euros again. Euro 4320.
Okay, and you've got your fob, have you?
Yep.
Okay, no fob for me. Two sets of choppers because my units all move together. There's no going back to the fob with this deck, as you'll see as I go into it. Now, for my commands, I've got the T80 UK this time. So this is a tank to take along with you to get those frontline positions. And then once you've got the frontline position, hopefully you're pushing on further, hopefully. And then you replace it with my other command, which is a basic UAZG.
All right. I only have the BMD2K again this time. And the reason why is this is supposed to be focused on a small region map, so I don't need that many ZVs, so I decided to get just one with the autocannon. Yeah,
okay, that's a good enough reason. I guess we're both doing the same kind of thing, but we're doing it with different units and different strategies, which is, I suppose, what this game's all about. There's lots of different roads to Rome in this game, that's for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
So that's it for your logistics. You've got your fob, you've got your command, and you've got your logistics trucks. Excellent. On to the infantry then.
Yep.
I've got my Moskaya Pekotas in MTVs again, but then I've changed up a little bit. I've got VDVs in Shrezhnets, or however you pronounce that. I've got Iglas in choppers, Konkers in choppers, and Spetsnaz this time I've got them in BTRDs again. And these really are for flushing out any groups of infantry in trees, and with the help of something I've got a little bit later in buildings as well. So this is all based around moving infantry out of the way so my tanks can keep moving forward.
Well, I actually got with the strategy of keeping Spetsnaz and VDVs together to complement each other and holding an area. It's like the most elite of the elite, just holding an area so hard that it would be very painful to try to have them flushed out.
Yeah.
I've got two stacks of Spetsnaz in the Skurzets to help them shoot down any helicopters and all that stuff.
Yeah, cool. They're pretty useful, those Shrezhnets. They do really deter people from bringing helicopters close to you, those things.
Yep. And then for the VDV-90, since the Spetsnaz and VDV-90s will always be traveling together in packs, I got the VDV-90s with BMD-3s, which they have anti-tank guided missiles as well. So it's basically just this big blob of covering all bases with just infantry, and that's before I bring in anything else with them.
Yeah, and the BMD-3s, they're pretty nice with they're only 25 points, and they've got 23 AP power and 50% accuracy, so not too bad at all.
With an autocannon.
Yeah, not too bad at all for 25 points. Another really nice Russian unit. They've got a lot of them.
Yep.
What
And then
else have we got?
finally, I got the Igla ends again in the Skurzets as well. I like putting the infantry in the anti-aircraft infantry in the anti-aircraft APC. It just works out really well.
Okay, cool. Anything else?
No, that's it.
Cool. On to the support. Now the support's pretty important for me if I'm going to try and keep moving forward with my spread out blob, shall I call it. So I've got 2 Buratinos. So those infantry with my 2 Buratinos, I'm hoping we'll be able to deal with any infantry we come across. And then I've got some Nonas. I've got 4 Nonas, SVKs, the more expensive one, that are a little bit faster. And I've got those again for smoking, for flushing out units. I'm not too bothered about anti-air units because I've not really got many aircraft or helicopters I'm going to be using too much of in this deck. It's all about tanks, anti-air and recon basically. So I've got the Nonas and I've got the Buratinos for flushing out infantry, and then to protect me against the enemy aircraft we've got the usual 100-point Tunguskas. I've got my 50-point Strellas with their lovely 12 missiles on board. And I've also got the really cheap Strellas, the 30-point ones to put in the front. They run out of missiles quickly, but if I've got my Tunguskas at the rear as well, then they shouldn't do me too bad at all. I'm hoping they'll be that'll be enough.
All right. Oh, for me, my goal is to sit and hold an area. So I got 2 stacks of Buratinos because I'm gonna need lots of napalm to deter an enemy from doing any hard pushes into my area. So I got a lot of Buratino fire, and I also got mortars, but I didn't get the Nonas this time. Like you, I got the MTLB Vasilek.
Yeah, a lot of people get them. They're nice as well.
Yeah, and the reason why is I've seen these in action, and what they do, these just fire a lot of their entire barrage of mortars all at once, just do, and then they're free to move quickly out of the way, and then all the mortars land generally at the same time, which is what you want so the enemy doesn't react to them.
Yeah, sure. It's like an auto cannon mortar almost. It does fire like really, really quickly. Yeah,
Yeah.
Nice weapon. Yeah,
So that's what I got it for. And then, of course, I got the Tunguska M to help hold down an area with its infrared missiles that I could turn off the gun or turn it on with need. And also, I got the Tor because it's got very good range against helicopters and a decent-ish range against AA. And it's very good just to sit in the back and help provide a further anti-air blanket.
Cool. And that's everything?
Yep.
Brilliant. Okay, on to the tanks. Now I've got a big array of tanks in my deck this time because this is the main spearhead of my force, or it's meant to be. I have got the T-80UM, 2 of them. Very expensive, maybe a bit over the top, but it has got those massive 2,800 meter anti-tank missiles if we come up against any big Abrams or anything.
I would have thought you would have got the T-72BU because it has better front armor and better autonomy than the T-80UM.
Yeah, I've got the T-72BU as well. Slightly less range on the ATGM, but slightly better, as you say, better armor. The guns pretty much about the same. I think they're exactly the same, in fact, on the 2 weapons. But yeah, I've got both of them, so they should complement each other quite well.
Yeah, but the T-80UM does have half the autonomy of the BU, or nearly half the autonomy, so you need to refuel those UMs.
Yeah, well, I've got my choppers and my trucks. Should do the trick.
No, that's true.
And I've also got T-80Us as well. So I've got T-80Us, T-80UMs, and T-72BUs. So I've got the works in this deck.
So you spent all your points on tanks, and now you don't have anything else to bring in.
Oh, well, I'll just have to hope for a nice long game so I can bring that. I'll bring the T-80UMs in last, probably bring the T-80Us in first. I've also got, though, the T-72Bs that we spoke about in the last video. Really nice.
Those are pretty good tanks.
Nice all-round tanks. A bit like the K1s, really nice all-round tanks. And then I've got a cheaper tank, and this is for kind of sitting back a little bit because the armor on these tanks isn't anywhere near as good as on those big tanks, and also I suppose on the T-72Bs, but this tank has got some really nice anti-tank weapons, and it's the T-72 MV1. So long range, 2,800 meters on its 80 GM. So if I get in a spot of bother, I can kind of pull my big tanks back a little bit, and they should be protected by these guys that are just hanging back a little bit. Or if they're my
T-62?
T-62 MV1, yeah.
Okay, you said T-72.
Oh, my apologies. T-62 MV1, yeah. So again, poor armor, but awesome weapons, I suppose.
Yeah.
You'd say for that tank?
Yeah, that gives the Silveraptor stamp of approval.
Yeah, cool. And
I like how it has all that reactive armor over it, too.
Yeah. So that's my, So that's my 5 tanks. What have you got?
I've got the T-80UM, and my focus on that is because I'm trying to hold down an area, these tanks won't be moving a whole lot, so I figured the poorer autonomy would do better with just holding down an area with the longer range and everything like that.
Okay, fair enough, yeah.
And then I've got the 2 stacks of hardened T-72Bs as well.
Right, 2 stacks. Okay, interesting.
Yeah. And then finally supplemented up with the T-62 M1 again for the cheaper tank to hold an area.
Yeah, okay. It's interesting. You're using your kind of deck as a holding deck, and I'm trying to use mine as more of a pushing deck. So it's contrasts quite nicely. We'll have to see how they go in the games.
Yeah, I do like the reactive armor of your T-62 MV1 though.
Right.
Well, I don't think most people are aware that those are actually explosive charges strapped to those tanks.
Oh right, and they explode outwards when it hits or something, or what?
Yeah, they explode outwards and pushes the shell away from it.
Oh, okay, right, cool. Right, onto the recon. I've gone fairly heavy on recon because if I'm going forward,
You'll need to see the enemy.
I'll need to see what I'm coming up against in advance.
Yep.
And my first unit is very cheap. I'm expecting to lose a few of these. They only cost 15 points, and it's the Brom 2. 10 strength, fast, and only good optics, but I think good is going to be good enough in this case.
Yeah, I would say so, especially if it's intermingled with tanks. They might shoot the tanks first before they shoot this. What they could do is to help suppress infantry as well with their autocannon.
Yeah, sure. They can even suppress light vehicles and stuff if they can get shots off.
Yep.
I've also got the KA-52, the Eyes in the Sky. They're my main recon unit for this game. Not really bought it in for its seed missile, but mainly for its igloos
or its exceptional
and for its exceptional optics, so we can have a good look and see what's coming towards us or see what we're going towards, really.
It's also medium stealth too.
Yeah. And then I've got some ground units, all infantry. I've got Spetsnaz Gruz, really as a frontline infantry unit as much as a recon unit as well. So I'm going to put these at the front at the beginning of the game. And I've got Spetsnaz VMFs as my kind of undercover sniper sneaky unit as well, to try and keep an eye on and get a bit closer to the enemy without being spotted. That's my 4 recon units.
Okay. I got the Spetsnaz GRU in the BTR 90s again to help supplement my regular infantry. And then I finally got the Plamias with the UAZ Plamias with their frag grenades. These are good for sitting in the tree line just away from a village, and they can help provide a little bit of supporting frag grenades as enemies try to push into that village. They can fire from afar.
Yeah, there are 50 points though, and they're only 5 strength.
Yeah, but they have exceptional optics.
Yeah, they do, yeah.
Better optics than the regular UAZ, so that's why I got them.
I don't know, a bit fragile for me, but yeah, you like the frag grenade, so you got it.
Yeah.
All it is stuck on top of the flipping Jeep. Look at it. It looks really bad. Okay. What else have you got?
I got the Mi-2 this time to be able to cover my flanks with a very cheap recon helicopter. And then, of course, I also got the Ka-52 again as well.
Cool. So you got the Mi-2 this time and the Ka as well. Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Right. On to the vehicles. I've got a couple of vehicles.
Yep.
Probably can guess what they are. Of course, the BMPT.
Yep.
Got to have that, flushing out infantry.
And you probably have Afghansky, don't you?
And I've got Afghanskis as well. Put them through the trees. You know, take stuff out in the trees. You know,
Extra AA. You'll probably need that.
Extra AA, deter the helicopters from coming over and stuff. So what have you got in your vehicles?
I just got the one BMPT.
Okay, cool.
So I only have the one BMPT this time.
Right, you had a bunch of vehicles last time, but only one this time. Okay, fine. On to the helis then. What have you got in your heli deck?
Well, I started off again with the Akula. I really like the Akula.
Yeah.
It's just very, very diverse helicopter.
Yeah, I've got the Akula this time, mainly to support my tank push. It's got those anti-air missiles, and it can also like knock back any or deter any tanks that they've got and help my tanks out a little bit. And it's also got a pretty decent autocannon as well to shoot at infantry if required. But you've got to keep these things safe. You've got to keep them moving. My biggest problem is sometimes I just forget about my choppers and then they just get hit by artillery. But I've just got to try and remember to keep them moving or keep them right back.
But since I'm holding down this area and armor pushes are really, really hard to deal with, I also got the Mi-28 with its anti-tank rockets.
Yep, and I've got that as well as my Akula. I've got the Mi-28 as well. So yeah, again, we spoke about this in the last video. Awesome thing. Fires on the move, fires really fast. I just like the way it fires so fast. It seems to fire faster, and it's faster in game than its stats even suggest on paper. But really nice. Anything else?
Yes, I got 2 stacks of Mi-24V because I just wanted to be able to shoot down any helicopters that come our way.
Yeah, I've got Mi-24Vs. I've just got 1 stack of those though. Nice.
I would have gotten Mi-24VP for extra anti-tank, but I've already got the Akula and the Mi-28. That's a lot of anti-tank guided missiles.
Well, do you know what? I have got the Mi-24VP. So, you know, I feel sorry for anyone that comes at me with an armored deck, even though I've got just a normal deck. I've got all those big tanks. I've got some massive anti-tank choppers. Yeah, pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Anything else in the helicopter front?
Nope, that's it.
Cool. On to the aircraft then. And I've only got one this time. Had a few last time. Only got one, and it's the bomber, the IL-102. Going to bring this out, you know, in case we get bogged down by infantry in buildings or anything like that. As long as there's no AA around, of course. What have you got?
I've got the MiG-25BM, and that's because I actually have some expensive aircraft that I don't want to be shot down, and I essentially want to keep my helicopters safe from radar, so I would like to bring in the seaplane to make sure none of that is happening.
Cool. Excellent.
I've next got the Su-24M again with those 250 kilogram bombs, but 30 of them because I've seen these at work. They just do so much damage.
Yeah, they're pretty destructive weapons. Pretty destructive beasts.
Yep.
And what else?
And for multi-role fighter, this time, because I don't know, I guess I'm paranoid about tank pushes, I got the Su-27M, a very expensive aircraft.
100. Oh, 200. Oh, the most expensive. Yeah. Ah, okay. Yeah. But it is good though.
Very good anti-tank missiles, but also it can help shoot air superiority fighters with those fire and forget long-range missiles.
Yeah, I guess if you got them apart, then a good anti-aircraft plane would cost you like 120, 140 points. And an anti-tank one would cost you 90, 100 points. So yeah.
Mixing them together.
Mixing them together as long as you don't lose it early on.
Yeah. I also got the a couple Su-27Ss for air superiority, so I can protect that as well. So I'm covering like the radar from the ground and the aircraft with the Su-27S, and as long as I don't lose the other two, I should be in good shape.
Yeah, cool. Nice, very nice. So is that it for your aircraft?
That's it for my aircraft.
Right, so in this video as well, we're going to have a quick check over of the naval units that we've selected as we're doing the Russian deck. Go ahead, what have you got in your navy today?
For general purposes, I just grabbed a few ships together. Very few ships, best of the best. I've got the Silveraptor.
Yeah, I've got that as well. The best attack ship, I would say, in the game.
Yep.
Good even against aircraft.
Yeah, it's also very good on defense because it could shoot oftentimes at most NATO anti-seed aircraft as well.
Yeah.
Whereas the Utiloid's range is lacking. I can get away with a few NATO planes shooting at a Utiloid without retaliation from its anti-air missiles.
Yeah, and if this thing's sailing towards anti-ship warfare planes while they're firing, it can often take a couple of them down as well because the range closes so quickly.
Yeah.
So I've got the Sovereign Many, and I've got the Utiloid as well that you just spoke about.
Yep, I got the Utiloid to just provide extra defense for the Sovereign Many because of its exceptional close-in weapon system.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Okay, and
I got one stack of three Jianchu 3s.
Yeah, same. I got them as well. They've got very good CIWS. Can shoot. You know, if you have these in a blob with your Utiloid and the Sovereign Many, it's going to take.
It's a very unkillable blob. It's going to take a lot. It
takes a long time and coordinated attacks. Basically, 2 planes, 3 planes ain't going to do it. It's going to have like 4 or 5 flying at it to cause damage. If you've got a blob of these with your Sovereign Many and the Utiloid as well, yeah.
Yep. And then since these are all over very expensive ships, I got 2 stacks of 3 Munas to help just keep them supplied and repaired up.
Yeah, I got 1 stack of Munas. They're quite big, these Munas, aren't they? So yeah, 120 points. Not over fast like the American, like the Blue 4 ones, the LCUs. But I just got 3 Munas, but I got 3 Luders as well. Medium CIWS again, but they get 6 missiles. So it can add to the firepower of a blob if you ever manage to get one up and running.
Yeah, definitely.
And that's about it for the ships. You are a little bit restricted when you've only got 5 sort of slots in your ship section, I find.
Yeah.
And you've got to kind of choose what kind of a thing, whether you want to go for planes and aircraft or whether you want to go for ships. If you mix it up too much, you end up with just a couple of ships, and that's just no good at all. You might as well just go for
You need a Navy or Marine deck to really get into the Navy section.
For sure. And we'll be doing that later on in the series.
Yep.
So the time has come to pick your favourite unit, and for my 3 push, I'll go second again. What are you gonna go for this time?
Well, I don't think we should be able to pick the units that we picked from the last video, so I'll pick one that has been that I have seen as to be quite effective. I'm trying to decide between I'll probably just pick the Buratina because of its napalm.
Yeah. It's very, very useful, and very, very useful unit on attack, and also, as you said, in defense as well. I am going to, however, go for the Akula in this deck. If you get a little bit bogged down, bring in an Akula maybe. You know, try and take out 1 or 2 of their units, or that, or the KA-52. You know, as well, I guess. But I think
I thought you were going to pick the Tunguska.
But I'm going to go for the Akula. Yeah, I'm going to go for the Akula this time, I think. Yeah.
All right.
Cool. So that's our kind of slightly more specialized decks for the Russian to complement our first video of the generalized kind of Russian deck. So, any last words, Silveraptor?
Nope. I just look forward to using these in gameplay.
Me too. Thanks for doing this deck build with me. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you in the games, and we'll see you in the next video.